Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be looking at the new Volkswagen Atlas. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and link you to the Ken Garff Volkswagen here in Orem, Utah, if you're some time with this Atlas. This particular Atlas is still available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can reach out to them. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 269 horsepower and then 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go with the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, taking a look at the hood, you guys can see I've got the raised sections there on either side. Gives us a muscular appearance. And then popping down below, I love the daytime lights. Notice how that continues into the grille. It has a really cool effect. And then you got the giant Volkswagen logo below that. And then this trim piece off to the side is also pretty sweet. You can see a silver trim there at the bottom too. And putting it all together, I'm a big fan of the Atlas's new front end styling. I think they did a good job. Now, popping on the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 255, 50, 20 in the front and over in the rear. And then you guys can see here with the wheel design, you got the silver there on the top and then it's darker there in the center portion. I think that looks really sharp. Really cool looking fender flares here, and then look at the cuts there at the top, and you can see that kind of continues along the side. Then also got the blacked out trim there at the bottom, and then notice we got some silver trim here around the windows. And then here's your full side view with the new Atlas. So it has that, bigger, bulkier SUV appearance. Now, when it comes to the key fob, we have our lock function, our unlock function, the opening here for the hatch, remote start, and then the Volkswagen logo there on the back. And then popping into the cargo area, you guys can first see that we've got some storage underneath here, and you also have some extra storage there on the sides as well. And then with the third row, you can fold that down for even more storage. You just pull that little tab, and then you can throw the seat forward. But I mean, behind the third row is actually pretty big. And then when you're all done, just press that button at the top, and then it'll lower everything down. Now I've got this cool new taillight design. Notice how it's kind of like a light bar. Notice it goes with the Volkswagen logo as well. And they do have parking sensors here at the bottom. And look at the covers over the exhaust tips. Actually, there's no exhaust in there. Those are just for show. Interesting. But anyways, finishing it up, let me know what you guys think about the new Atlas. But this kind of gives me like mini Toyota Land Cruiser vibes. That's almost what it looks like. Now, popping into the rear, we've got these sunshades here for the rear passengers. And then it is soft touch here at the top. And then look at the trim down below, and I love how it's perforated there. I think that looks great. And then again, more soft touch right here, and really good fit and finish. Now, taking a look at the seat, you guys can see perforated all down the center portion, and do have the adjustments there on the seat as well. And then when it comes to legroom, it's actually spacious back here. You guys can see a little storage pocket. We got some vent action, and we also have our own climate zone here in the back with some USB action and all that. Armrests here for the second row passengers, and then headroom. It's good. Now, when it comes to third row space, pretty typical here for this segment, so a little bit more cramped with the legroom. And then we've got some cup holder action back here. Looks like we have some USBs here in the back as well. And then we have some ventilation here for the rear passengers, which is nice. But I will say headroom back here is good. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you can see soft touch here at the top, and then look at the trim there, and then it's perforated down below, and then the padding down below. All of our window controls here, we've got our mirror adjustments, door lock and unlock. That's actually for the hatch down below, and then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's a quick look at the front seat. You guys can see perforated all down the center. We've got our power adjustments there on the side. And then you saw earlier with the light controls right there. And then again, soft touch here at the dash, and then again, more really nice wood trim there. So taking a look at the steering wheel, soft touch all around. You got contrasted white stitching on the center. Paddle shifters here in the back for the 8-speed automatic. And then we have some controls here for the radio at the bottom. You got some controls for the center stack, adaptive cruise control, and then your regular stocks there on the back. Full digital gauge cluster here in the center. I think it has a really sharp appearance, and we can actually scroll through some menus on either gauge. You can see a bunch of different bits of information. That's on the one side, and then I can pop over to the other side as well and also see what's happening there. So it's pretty cool, the info you can see. And then here is the camera system. You guys can see backup camera here with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and then you got parking sensors there, front and rear. Now, when it comes to the infotainment system, this reminds me of the one that's in the new Golf R and the GTI. So you've got like the little buttons down below for the climate controls and the volume controls. They're kind of like slider buttons. And then as for the touchscreen itself, it actually responds really well, as you can see. You always have that shortcut there on the side for the climate stuff. So even though it is built into the screen, it's easy to access, and parts of it, I guess, are not technically built into the screen, but yeah, overall I'd say easy to use. And then nice soft touch here on the dash, then you can see down below again with the wood trim and black trim across. And then we've got a bunch of shortcut buttons here, so like the driving assist, the climate, your drive modes, the parking assist. But like with the drive modes, you can see there's a bunch of them, which is really cool. And something to note is these buttons, you don't actually have to, you can press them, but like it's not really like saying you press in, it's more of just like you hover your finger over and then it pulls it up. So kind of interesting. Anyways, we got some storage underneath here. You guys can see wireless phone charging pads, some USBs, all of that. And of course, piano black there on the top. Engine stop start button here. We have the, what I call the shaver shifter. It looks like the same thing you have like the new Porsches, which is interesting. Some cup holder action here, and then some nice padding, and then you guys can see storage underneath the center console. And also good storage in the glove box as well. Also got a, or not glove box, rather, center console. Got a USB port there. And then the real glove box, as you can see, is good storage. But yeah, this is nice with the padding. And then up top, we've got the sliders here for the full panoramic sunroof and just a lighter colored headliner to match this interior. Now, sorry, there's quite a bit of glare, so it's kind of hard to see the window sticker itself, but almost everything we went over is standard equipment for the most part. Base MSRP is $43,565. We do have some options. Total MSRP comes out to be $46,810 on this particular Atlas. And let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood. Both the mirrors do blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. And you know, I will say the shaver shifter, it's kind of weird, but I mean, I feel like I got used to it at a pretty quick rate. So let us do our official drive here of the new Atlas. I drove the Crossport right before this, but I kind of kept that drive short. This one's, it's not gonna be insanely long, but it's gonna be a little bit longer. And then I am gonna be doing a comparison. So this is another reason to subscribe, but I'll be comparing to the CX-90. Got the Mazda store right next door. And so, you know, if you're looking for crossover comparisons, that's something that happens on the Ben Hardy channel quite often. Turbocharged engine sounds pretty cool, actually. Transmission's really good. It's got good torque too. Everything's really smooth. Suspension smooth, seat comfort's great. Definitely can tell that Volkswagen's kind of focused on the luxury aspect here with this new Atlas. So I think that's kind of an interesting take. But it seems like a lot of automakers are kind of focusing on that in these segments nowadays. Yeah, just good torque. That's the thing that I keep noticing. I mean, suspension over that bump was actually, it's pretty good. I'm not noticing a huge difference. I will say, like, the on-road ride quality seems like, just on smooth pavement, seems a little bit better. But like in terms of our bumps and everything, it doesn't seem like that's changed too much. I do like the tuning on this engine. Yeah, it feels like very, very torquey. And we're just in the normal mode. We'll pop into sport mode in a little bit. I just want to make sure I was in normal mode. But yeah, I think that's really impressive to me. I like that quite a bit. And it's quiet overall. Turn signals, I feel like a lot of modern cars are going towards like annoying turn signal sounds. This one's definitely more normal, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, good torque. So we're gonna pop it into, pretty easy to use the drive mode. Maybe, was it in sport mode? I don't know. Regardless, we'll get a full-blown acceleration here with the sport mode, and then we'll kind of sum things up here with the V-Dub Atlas. Let's get our acceleration here. You got a little turbo blow off. That's kind of fun. You get like a little psh, that was fun. So I'll pop back in comfort mode. So to cap things off, and you know, if you guys want me to do more testing with the Atlas in the future, then I can, you know, talk to Volkswagen about having a car for a little bit longer, but you know, in terms of the initial test, it's really comfortable. It seems like this is pretty much, it drives just as well as pretty much every other 3-row crossover on the market. The things that make this stand out in my mind, first off, the build quality. This seems to be like a lot better than what Volkswagen is, you know, traditionally known for, right? Everyone's seen the memes, Das Auto, right, with the cars falling apart, and everything in here feels like, if you have a chance, just go and touch like the parts in a new Atlas. This feels very sturdy. This is a very sturdy interior, so I think that's a big change, frankly. And then, you know, the other part of it is I like the looks. I think the styling's really good as well. So let me know your thoughts here on the new Atlas from a stylistic perspective. I think, like I said, it drives really well, but I think the thing that really sets us apart is the features plus the build quality. It seems like the build quality is really good for the segment, and then it offers a lot of features for a reasonable price point.